No one could get close to the dog. He growled, snapped, and darted away from every hand that tried to help, until one quiet afternoon, when a boy in a wheelchair rolled in. That was the moment everything changed. At the Ridge Valley Animal Rescue Center, whispers passed between volunteers about the new arrival. A big dog with snowy white fur, covered in scars. They'd found him in a storm drain outside the city. They named him Phantom, not just for the color of his coat, but because of how he'd vanish into the shadows whenever anyone came near. The trainers tried everything: treats, toys, soft-spoken voices. But Phantom wouldn't let a soul close. He barked, backed into corners. His eyes didn't show anger, just fear. He didn't lash out to harm. He just didn't believe anyone could be trusted. This story touched millions of hearts, if it touched yours. Let us know with a like, comment, yes, and subscribe or follow for more amazing stories like this. Back to the story. Then, one Sunday, Julian Brooks, 16 years old, rolled into the shelter yard in his wheelchair. His mum walked beside him, unsure. It had been 2 years since Julian's accident, a dirt bike crash that stole the use of his legs and nearly all of his spirit. He used to be fearless, the kind of kid who ruled the skate park every afternoon. Now, he barely spoke. This visit wasn't his idea. Julian's gaze drifted past the barking puppies and wagging tails. That's when he saw Phantom. The dog was motionless, standing behind a fence, staring straight at him. And Julian stopped. His mum glanced down. "Want to move on?" she asked. Julian shook his head gently. "No," he said softly. "I want to stay." The volunteers exchanged uneasy looks, but they let him approach. Slowly, gently. He wheeled himself to the edge of Phantom's enclosure. The dog stayed tense, alert, fur bristled. Julian didn't speak. He didn't reach out. He just waited. And after what felt like forever, Phantom stepped forward. Cautiously. Not wagging. Not playful. Just curious. He sniffed the air near Julian's hand, and then, in a move that silenced the entire shelter, he lowered his head and placed it softly on Julian's knee. Gasps filled the air. One volunteer whispered, "He's never done that before." Julian didn't smile. He didn't even look around. He just whispered, "It's okay. I know what it's like to be scared." From that day on, everything was different. In the weeks that followed, Julian returned to the shelter every single day. Phantom learned to sit quietly beside him, to walk next to his wheelchair, to lean against him like a silent, loyal shield. No commands, no leash, just trust. A local journalist caught wind of the story. A video of Phantom resting his head in Julian's lap went viral, but not everyone believed it. "It's a fluke," one trainer scoffed. "That dog's not trained. The boy's not qualified." The noise grew louder, the comments more cutting. And for a while, Julian stopped showing up. Doubt crept in, but Phantom didn't forget. One morning he stood at the gate, waiting. He refused food. He refused walks. He waited until Julian came back. And when he did, Phantom ran straight to him and laid down at his side. The rescue center invited Julian to speak at a therapy event for children with disabilities. At first, he hesitated. But when he rolled into that arena, with Phantom walking calmly beside him, every doubt faded. Kids who hadn't spoken in months reached out to touch Phantom. One little girl even laughed for the first time in a long while. Phantom responded to each child with the same quiet strength he'd shown Julian. Steady, gentle, healing. That evening, as the sun sank low over the hills, Julian sat with Phantom in an empty field. No cameras, no crowd, just them. "You helped me find myself again," Julian whispered, stroking the dog's scarred fur. "Maybe we saved each other." Phantom wagged his tail softly, resting his head on Julian's foot. And for the first time in 2 years, Julian smiled. Because sometimes healing doesn't come from being strong. It comes from allowing ourselves to be seen, from choosing to trust and being trusted in return. That's where real courage begins. If this story moved you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful moments like this. Your support helps us share stories that truly matter.